Welcome to day 11 of your 14-day Ayurveda challenge. So, on this day, we'll be moving through a Pitta balancing yoga practice. And as we move through this practice, I'll try my best to remind you that Pitta dosha, we see that within us as the part of us that's able to organize, that's able to actually transform, as really a strong force that can help us get things done. And as you may have learned or come to learn throughout our time together so far, Pitta, when it's out of balance, can be really fired up, and it can cause a lot of just issues in our digestion and also issues with the people and the relationships around us. So if you're ever feeling like you're literally getting fired up, like you're about to say something really not too kind, if you feel like you're maybe getting a little jealous, if you feel like you're entering into a place that is not going to serve you long run or long term, or if you just feel like everything is swirling around and getting a little bit too intense, uh, replay this video anytime that you need it. But it's here for you anytime that you need it. But for today, we won't be using any props. If you haven't already gone and gotten yourself a yoga mat or a place to set up and practice where you can either hear me or watch me, go ahead and do that. You can pause the video and then come back. And we'll meet seated. We'll meet in a comfortable seat. So when you're ready, join me here. And your comfortable seat can be a crisscross position like the one that I'm in. If you prefer to sit on your shins, you might do that. And take a moment to breathe in through your nose. Try to find the beginning, the middle, the end of your inhale. The beginning, the middle, the end of your exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then raise your right hand up. Take your pointer finger and your middle finger and either curl them in towards your palm, or you can take those two fingers and bring them right at the space right between your eyebrows. And then close off your right nostril with your thumb. Breathe in through your left. Close off your left nostril with your ring finger. Exhale through your right. Breathe in through your right. Close it off with your thumb. Exhale through your left. Breathe in through your left. Close it off. Exhale through your right. Breathe in through your right. Close it off. Exhale through your left. Breathe in through your left. Close it off. Exhale through your right. Lower your palm down and breathe in through both nostrils. Exhale through both. Softly open up your eyes and then sweep both arms up high overhead. Interlace your fingers and then flip your palms up. Take a big in breath in here. As you breathe out, open up your arms, tent your fingertips behind you, and open up that space that sometimes gets a little crunched up right between your chest and your shoulders. So this armpit chest space. Sometimes when we're feeling really out of balance with pitta, it helps to play around with opening the chest or laughing a little bit or just doing practices that remind us that we're capable of finding compassion and having an open heart. And just simply being here, noticing maybe if you've been tensing your shoulders forward, if you've been bringing your shoulders high up towards your ears, just being in the space for a moment can help you release that. Then take your time, find the front of your space, and we'll meet up on our hands and knees. So we'll join with the wrists under the shoulders, knees under hips, and then breathe in, roll your shoulders back, lift your sitting bones, look up for cow. Breathe out, round through your spine, see your knees for cat. Breathe in, roll your shoulders back, tip your gaze up, look up, cow pose. Breathe out, round through your spine for cat. Find a neutral spine so it's not a cat or a cow, and extend your right leg back behind you. Tuck your toes and just pulse a little bit forward and back on the ball of your back foot. So, in a yoga practice that's focusing on really balancing out Pitta, we're not necessarily doing a full length class here. We're focusing on actually breathing in and being aware of maybe where we're feeling that breath or sending that breath in our body, and breathing out and noticing what we can let go of. So that might be whatever you're gripping onto that isn't serving you. That might be that like cramp that you're getting in your foot or in your hip or somewhere because you've been tensing up. Switch sides, lower your right foot down, extend your left foot back, tuck your toes, and move a little bit forward and back on the ball of that foot. And then again, notice if your shoulders are coming up towards your ears, or if you're not engaging your abdominals, engage your belly. That way you're not cinching up the low back in any way. And then lower your knees, bring your big toes to touch. Widen out your knees. Take a seat back into a child's pose. From your child's pose, come forward, plank pose. Take a breath in right here. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. And you may bend one knee and then the other, just pedaling around through your feet. Wherever you're at in your breath, breathe in and reach your right leg high. Breathe out and step your right foot forward, right up between your thumbs, closer to your right thumb. Lift your right arm up high towards the sky, but then take that same right arm and frame your right ear with it. Imagine you could almost create another inch of space between each rib on your right side. And using the strength of your abdominals, turn your belly towards the sky. You might even look up a little bit. Lower your hand and step forward. Your back foot will meet the front foot at the top of your space. Tuck your chin into your chest. Roll yourself all the way up to stand, stacking your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. And then breathe in, reach your arms up high. Interlace your fingers as you breathe out and reach your wrists up towards the ceiling. Open up your arms. Try to lead with your heart as you tip forward, fold forward back into your legs, and step your right foot back to a low lunge. Lower your knee to the ground, untuck your toes, and just encourage your hips forward. I know I said you don't need props for this, but if you do have any knee sensitivity, you can totally grab a blanket or a towel. You can also fold your mat over so that way the mat gives you a little extra cushioning. Ideally, we're not putting a ton of pressure on the knee here. We're more so putting weight in the back foot, the top of the foot. That way the knee's not slamming into the ground. Tuck your toes, plant your palms, press on back, downward facing dog. Plank pose, breathe in. And then lower your knees and lower all the way to your mat, full breath out. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, lift your heart for a low cobra. Lower your forehead back down. Separate your feet about mat's width apart, maybe even wider, and then tent your fingers wider than mat's width. And right from here on the tops of your fingers, lift your chest again. Stay there, or maybe you plant your palms and play around with what works for you. So you may extend your arms like I'm doing, or you might even bend your elbows like I'm also doing. And notice also, especially if you did have, or if you were feeling like you had a little bit of a lot of pitta stuff going on today or tonight or this morning, whenever you're watching this, notice if moving a little slower right now is something that's frustrating you. If that's happening, breathe out a little bit deeper. Try to let your breath out be a little longer than your breath in. And then maybe giggle at yourself for getting frustrated in a yoga practice. I always have to. It's something I do. Bring your hands under your shoulders, take your feet closer together, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. From your down dog, lift your left leg high, and then step your left foot forward next to your left thumb. So if you need to, you can help your foot there. Sweep your left arm up, peel open towards the left. And then if it feels good for you, frame your left ear with your left arm. Breathing in, make another inch of space between each rib. Breathe out, you might look up. Lower your hand down, lower your back knee, untuck the toes, and encourage your hips a little forward. Again, you might bring padding under your knee, but it's not necessary if you don't have it. Relax your jaw. You may even close your eyes here for a moment, especially if you've been feeling like there's a burning sensation in your eyes or around your eyes. If you've been on a computer this whole time, or if you've just been feeling a little fiery, close your eyes for a breath or two and relax your jaw. Open your eyes, tuck your toes, and step forward. And then roll up to stand. Once you're upright, sweep your arms up. Try to interlace your fingers with the opposite set of fingers in front. So if you forgot, just do what feels natural and then switch it. Flip your palms up, reach your wrists towards the ceiling or the sky. Open up your arms forward, fold. And then step your left foot back to a low lunge. Breathe in. Downward facing dog as you fully breathe out. Hips are high. Come on forward, plank pose. You can lower your knees just like what we did before, or if you'd like to keep them lifted and lower all the way down to the ground. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back, lift the heart for a low cobra. You can separate your feet, separate your hands with tented fingers or palms down. Start to lift yourself up. And then lower back down. Take your legs a little closer together. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes, press back, downward facing dog. From your downward dog, slowly walk your feet up towards the front of your spot. Roll all the way up to stand. Once you're standing, really spread through your fingers and spread through your toes. Notice what parts of your feet are on the mat. Can you feel a little bit grounded? Can you almost get a little bit grounded by noticing what's on the ground? And then from that space, extend the crown of your head up towards the sky or the ceiling. Breathe in, reach your arms up high. Breathe out, forward fold. From down here, take a look at your feet and just separate your feet about hips width apart. You can either wrap your fingers around your big toes, or if your hands can come to the ground, bring your hands to the ground or on a water bottle or blocks or something like that if you've got anything. Can also grab opposite elbows. But be in this place where you're almost allowing your ears to get a little bit heavier towards the ground. Maybe even feeling like anything that was causing any tension or anything really dramatic in your life. Imagine that's just coming out of the top of your head and releasing back into the earth. You don't need it anymore. Halfway lift. Look away from your thighs. Look away from your shins. Inhaling. Exhale and fold. Plant your palms and just step yourself back to a plank. That way you can lower child's pose. In your child's pose, slowly walk your hands towards the right side of your space. Lengthen through your spine, and from the strength of your abdominals, turn to the right. Take your belly button towards the right leg or even up on top of it. And switch sides. Walk your hands over towards the other side. Breathing in and breathing out. Come on back through center. Come back to your hands and your knees and find a comfortable seat once more. So you can sit up on your shins. I'm sitting on my shins. You can sit like this, or find a place that you can sit that feels right for you. And then just reach your arms up high. Take your right hand down beside your right hip. Reach up towards the ceiling and over to the right. Inhale back up through center, reach both arms up. Bring your left hand down, reach over to the left. And then come back through center, lower your hands. Find a seat that you can sit in comfortably for a few moments. So if you're watching me, I just switched so that way I've got my legs crossed now. It's just a place that I can sit that is a little more comfortable, a little less heating for me. Bring your hands onto your thighs, either with your palms flipped up or they can be down. And then float your eyes closed if that feels comfortable for you. With your eyes closed, breathe in and out through just your nose if you're not already doing that. And then just tap in with how you're actually feeling, how you're literally feeling right now. If moving through some of those movements, some of those parts of that balancing yoga offering for pitta balancing, notice if moving through any of that maybe agitated you, if there were any parts of you, or if there are any parts of you that want to move faster, that want to build more heat. Notice if that's coming up. And then take a moment and actually thank yourself for being in this body that you're in, this beautiful body that you're in. Thank yourself for feeling the things that you're feeling, that you're capable to feel. And then thank yourself for being here for this Ayurveda challenge that's actually asking you to notice what's coming up and when and how you're feeling it. Try to stay connected to your breath in through your nose and your breath out through your nose. One of the best ways to really balance Pitta is to cultivate gratitude, say thank you, cultivate thanks in some way. Thank you, body, for showing me what frustration is. Thank you, mind, for getting a little bit heated about whatever it might be. Shows me that I'm passionate. It shows me that I'm strong. It shows me that I'm able to make changes. And then thank yourself for coming into a yoga practice, because the yoga practice helps us find the space to pause for a moment and acknowledge, ooh, this is a little fiery. This is a little pitta of me right now. Let me take a moment and get myself in check, or get that fire in check. If you haven't already done so, open up your eyes. And then just take your hands and take your open palms and bring them right over your chest, one palm on top of the other. And really breathe deep into your palms, sending your heart to your hands to your heart. Exhale your breath. So I invite you to continue watching this video anytime that you maybe feel like you need to slow down a little bit more. Anytime that you feel like things are getting a little intense, anytime you feel intensity inside of yourself, it's a really sweet way to just check back in, find some gratitude, move a little slower, and just cool it down a bit more. Thank you again for joining me in this 14-day Ayurveda challenge, and I will see you tomorrow.